Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my playthrough of Strategic Command World War I, and I'm playing it alongside my friend Ary here. Say hi, Ary.
Hello.
Okay, and he's going to give some color commentary on the war, and as he understands, obviously this is not going to the historical plans, but as we can see here, we have a couple of Russian submarines and a dreadnought sort of come out and surprise us, and I had really thought we had, because I was going to use some of these ships to do shore bombardment, but they have sort of wrecked us a bit. So let's retreat back as best we can. Some of these of our dreadnoughts that are damaged. We can move. Now, what I want to try to do here is see if we can, with our submarine, see if we can do some damage to. Nope, that's only going to damage us. Don't know how a dreadnought would be able to harm us. You come to this port. You can sort of stay out here as blocking force and keep doing the other click from just playing War Plan recently. Right now, I don't think my submarines are very, or my destroyers are very good at anti-submarine warfare, and if they hang around, I'm thinking they're more likely to get stomped by the dreadnought.
Yeah, submarines are always a pain, especially since that much.
Can you speak a bit louder?
Well, the basis is there wasn't that much reliable radar technology, and it made it very hard for submarines to really be combatant.
Right.
That's why they worked so effectively during the First World War.
Right. Now, we have this northern blockade line here that we need to try to get through, and I think every single position here is filled. So what we're going to try to do is come here. Yep, enemy contact. We've spotted you. Now we're going to go to here, an enemy contact. Okay, now here we know where you are, so we're going to come north through here. Okay, we've got, looks like we've got one guy out here. We'll go sit on these lines for the rest of the turn. Okay, so we've got through that. Don't know if those guys will survive. Now here, they're still in sneaky mode, so well, let's come down to sort of like here to here. Ooh, we missed that guy. Good. Okay, don't know how far west we want to go because we don't want to bring America into the war. Now, Ary, do you think France and Britain would have invaded Belgium just to try to turn the Germans' flank if Belgium was neutral?
Well, the problem is there, Britain guaranteed Belgium's neutrality, so I doubt that Britain itself would violate their neutrality. They might very much try to force Belgium in joining the war, but I doubt they would personally invade. Now with Romania, they did sort of offer loans and training and arms and all the other stuff to try to get them to join, so they might try to do the same for Belgium,
right,
if they stayed out of the war, obviously.
Now we know Romania had territorial ambitions.
Yeah.
Clearly. And I do know the border changes a bit back and forth between Belgium and Germany, between before the war, interwar periods after the war, you know, and whatnot. But what, especially seeing, after, this is already 1916 here. I can hardly imagine what you would induce the Belgians to go, here, this is good enough for you to join the war. Can you see what you could offer the Belgians that, sort of like the Dutch, what would they get out of joining the war?
Well, I don't know much when it comes to land, because I don't think there's very much to offer, because I think they have most of their people united.
Right. Obviously, you could carve off, carve off a bit of territory and give it to them, but I just don't see that as being worth it. At least that's my take on it. Okay, so we have that. Now, on the Italian front here. Okay. Now, did the Italians take Taranto? Do you know?
Oh no, the Italians were pretty much stuck on the
Yeah.
Austrian front. There's actually a meme about that. The Isonzo River.
Right.
Italian forces kept attacking and attacking and attacking. And
13 battles, I believe.
Yeah, and they could never get it.
Right. So yeah. Now, because the way this is, we were pushed out, and I knew that was going to happen. So it wasn't really a fight that I wanted to fight. Okay, so let's... Very good. These are German mountains.
What's interesting about Austria-Hungary is this has been a problem for a long time in Austria-Hungary, but it's the fact that they enlisted people who didn't speak German.
Well, they had... my understanding is they had essentially two armies. You had the Austrian army and you had the Hungarian army. And each one was commanded in their own language. And...
Yes,
but then they did have within those two armies a lot of, like you're talking about, a lot of different ethnic groups. So that is an issue. Now I'm trying to think, because I don't know how. Did the Austrians command in German or in French? And higher ups.
Well, they more than likely just spoke German, seeing that is their native language.
Right, but the Austrian aristocracy, for the most part, spoke French to each other and German to the servants. They were very much, at least as of, 1820. And obviously this is a few generations, this is almost 100 years after that. But very much the Austrian aristocracy, like the Russian aristocracy, spoke French amongst themselves and were taught that language as a child growing up, not just like going to school, but taught it in home growing up. And it was German they spoke to their servants. So I just don't know how much that might be a thing. Okay, got that there. Okay, so we have here, we want to reoccupy here. Can any of those? No, so we're gonna, because that's still in Italian hands. So we're going to push forward into there, and we're gonna, oh, we can't entrench? No, I guess we can't entrench this turn. Now we can, it looks like, do a little bit of a winter offensive here. Hurt them a bit without any losses, and we'll swap out our Austrian mountain troops and hit them again. Ooh, good. Now that got a little painful. Let's move the German corps down here and dig in. There we go. that's just a... Let's move the railway guns up. There we go. Are you a big fan of railway guns, Ary?
Oh, I love artillery of all kinds.
Okay, one of those guys.
Artillery is just a useful thing.
Let's hold our rear lines. There is a possibility of partisan activity up here, so let's make sure we can do some to keep it from going real bad on us.
Another interesting little tidbit about Austria-Hungary was it was kind of divided in the war itself. Obviously, each factor had its own, but nearly the end, when Russia was about to fall, Vienna itself was starving, and Austria-Hungary demanded food. And in the end, the Germans didn't really give them any, so what they did was stole a train full of food and drove it in. And I believe it was the Hungarians who said Austria should not fight a war that it cannot win.
Right. So, how do I put this? And obviously, as you were telling me before we started, you know, Austria wasn't able to fully defeat Serbia during the war. I do believe that in a vacuum, without having to worry about the Anzanzo front, without having to worry about the Russian front, of course, Austria-Hungary can defeat Serbia. Can it win a world war? That's like the big question in my mind. And obviously, I guess the answer was no.
But you also got to take into account, though, Serbia itself was sort of a newly formed nation, or at least it finally solidified itself after the defeat of the Ottomans in 1912. They were so determined to defend what they had, what little they had. They were so determined. I'm
Right.
unsure how long the war might last, but I know it would be a bloody one for Austria if it was just a simple war.
Let's move these subs up to here, see if we can disrupt some supply. Okay. Know much about the pro-Turkish uprising in Cyrenaica?
Well, I can't tell you much about it, but I do know that one of the reasons why the First Balkan War started was obviously because the Italian invasion of Libya in 1912.
Right.
And obviously, when you have a very Catholic country own a Sunni majority province, you're gonna get unrest no matter what.
Right, yeah. Oh, there's a... Man, I forget it. There's a really good movie about the Italian war in the desert out here. I saw that many years ago. Okay, let's see. These guys we can reinforce as well out in Morocco. Max to 6. Nothing else. These are tying up resources for the moment.
People tend to make fun of Italy as a backstabber for World War II, but I honestly see it as a World War I after all. They were in the Central Powers before this, the Triple Alliance.
Right.
They rejected to join the war because they said it was an offensive one, and later just declared war on Austria because the Allies promised them South Tyrol and other bits and pieces of the Balkans. And in the end, they didn't even get as much as they were wanting. They were wanting the entire coastline so they could have full control of the Adrian Sea.
The Adriatic, yeah.
Yeah, Adriatic. So they got a little wronged by that.
Okay, we'll attack. And that hurt me a little more than I was hoping. And let's see, we have... Yeah, you'll just... Now, are you entrenched? Let's see. Yeah, you're entrenched. Okay, good. You can reinforce next turn.
as for the Ottomans, the poor sick men of Europe, they have been on the receiving end for a century, if not more, by this point. They were just down in their luck, and they just wanted to do one last thing. They wanted revenge from Russia, who stole pretty much all their land.
Well, I wouldn't say Russia. I mean, you have the Crimean War, sure, but
Yeah, but you gotta also understand, Russia is what liberated the Balkans to start with.
yeah, the Russians definitely helped the Balkan uprisings. That I'm sure of. But, and again, I know we've discussed some of this before, but I really strongly think that a nation that doesn't produce its own small arms, and I'm not talking, well, I'm talking about, I think even Denmark. Well, Denmark, they definitely had the Madsen company doing the nice machine guns. I don't know if they produced the bulk of their rifles or something like that, but if you look at, later on, the Baltic states or someplace like Bulgaria, you don't go on to a war of conquest if you can't build your own goddamn rifles. And I know what you're saying about Turkey and the, whether revenge movements or just national pride movements going on that are really pushing things. But in my opinion,
gotta sort of understand as well. They went kind of behind the entire government's back after all. Like,
well, I understand about getting the two German ships to pretend to be Turkish ships to do some shelling of some coastline or something. Yeah, that's something I think you could sort of kind of explain away, but to the let's move you up to here. To the whoever got shelled, I forget who it was that was shelled, but
it was Sevastopol.
Sevastopol, yeah, okay, up in Crimea here. And so, yeah, you could probably explain that away to the Russians well enough to go, those were really the German ships, not ours. They just flew a false flag. Because false flag, what that we talk a lot about in the sort of modern day false flag operations. In naval operations, that was super common back then because, you had to sort of see ships to be able to shoot them. Radar didn't exist back then, so you couldn't. So what ship is that over there? And you judged it by the flags, and it was a crime, a war crime, to fly a false flag and fire on the enemy. You could fly a false flag, but you had to take it down when you wanted to actually attack. So if you're sailing along, this is definitely starts in the days of sail. So you're sailing along and you're going through enemy waters. You want to fly the enemy's flag to hopefully they see you go, yeah, this looks like one of ours over there. Now, good naval people could spot shipbuilding construction different between nations, but you got to get sort of close to it. But sail plans also change between nations. But still, you see a big friendly flag, you might just think it's friendly and not sail over to investigate it, because sometimes sailing isn't just pointing the ship and going that direction. You got to deal with the wind and tacking and all of that stuff. And so maybe worth a lot of trouble. Is it worth just to check out what is likely a friendly ship? So false flags were super common in naval operations. This wasn't some sort of conspiracy thing or otherwise. And we just see that going on, and I think you could just explain away the German use of a false flag without anybody being overly upset.
Well, the thing is, it was the war minister who wanted it to happen. He actually got the ships to do it.
Right. Well, you take the war minister out and you have him shot, very publicly. And you go, yeah, this is bad.
You're going a little alt history here.
Well, obviously I'm talking because I'm looking at the rationality of, there's already a world war going here, and you don't even make your own guns. I'm not even sure if you make your own bullets.
You also gotta understand, though, at the very beginning, it honestly looked like the Central Powers were gonna win.
Yeah, I get that, and that makes your point a little more valid, but I just look at it. Yeah, we don't make our own rifles.
You also got to get though, war is about more emotion driven than it is
I totally get that, but it's just, do you go to war when I guess they would see your two main enemies are Russia and Britain, because that's who you're mainly going to be looking at fighting.
And those are two nations that screwed over the Ottomans.
Mm.
So they obviously.
I wouldn't think the Ottomans are thinking the British screwed them over, because you have.
They got rid of Egypt.
No. And this will go into the history. I think this is history you don't know so well. You have the Russians pushing into the Black Sea. You have the Crimean War, which is basically a Franco-British attempt to bail the Ottomans out. That goes back to Lady.
I understand that, and that's because they thought Russia was getting too big for its own good.
Absolutely, no, they didn't. They didn't do it just to help out the poor, good little Ottomans.
They didn't care about the Ottomans. They only cared that Russia was getting too powerful.
Right, but you can look at the sort of before that, the mix interactions. At first, it's really much more Britain helping out the Ottomans fight the French, Napoleon. Then later on, it's a little more the French are trying to get the Ottomans to fight the English, back and forth. Now you go to Egypt. Egypt was not under Ottoman control when the British come in. It was under the control of the Mamelukes, which had basically rebelled. They were a sort of multi-generational military force, somewhat like the Janissaries, but weren't former Christian children that were raised, in it. But they were a sort of a warrior caste that the Turks had more or less brought down, that had rebelled against Turkish rule. So the Ottomans, sure, they may have claimed Egypt at the time, and someone can post in chat if they want, but my understanding is functionally for several generations, the Turks had little or no control, no money coming in, no tax money or anything like that coming in from Egypt. And obviously it was over the French concession then that they had to build the Suez Canal, and that sort of failing, and the British coming in, and the Mamelukes down there were just, corrupt and just not a good government. So the British drive them out and set up the
well, obviously they never had a super firm hold on it, but they did control it for several years.
Well, they controlled it for generations before, because during the Napoleonic Wars, the Mamelukes were definitely the main power in Egypt. But that was still very much more or less responding to central authority coming out of Constantinople. It's really only after that time that the Mamelukes really push that's basically functionally independent. So I don't see that, I'm not saying that they don't have, they're not like you earlier pointed out, where the Italians push in and push the Ottomans, because they were still controlling the Cyrenaica and Libya, the sort of Tripolitania and Cyrenaica, which they saw it as two different provinces. They were still very much controlling that at the time when the Italians pushed them out. That I totally grant, but it's not so clear cut. And so, but yeah, those are the people who they're going to be fighting. But both of those people, say particularly like the Russians, if all these Russian armies get killed, and the Turks capture all of the guns, the Russians can just build more guns. The Turks can't. And see, that's the big thing is the Turks can't build any more guns, any more rifles, any more machine guns. They just couldn't do it. So what they have at the start is all they're going to have, unless Germany or somebody else sends them more stuff. And that to me is just not a situation I'm going to voluntarily go into a war on, unless it's like dealing with some minor power. But they were jumping into a world war. Okay, so we have the subs there. We got that there. Now, let's look at research. Okay,
I guess it sort of depends on how you look at it. Because Bulgaria imported a good bit of their firearms, but they were
all of their firearms. All of Bulgaria,
yeah.
Bulgaria, Serbia, Romania, Hungary.
Is, though, Bulgaria.
Well, not Hungary. They're part of the
So
Austro-Hungarian Empire.
Bulgaria was called Prussia of the Balkans for the reason they had some of the biggest armies, the most artillery, all that.
Yeah, but Bulgaria, Serbia, both were definitely buying all of their arms from either Austria-Hungary or Germany. Serbia initially is getting all of their arms from Austria-Hungary because of the sort of various conflicts going on. Serbia sort of looks somewhere else and starts buying them from Germany. So all of the Serbian main, rifles, pistols, whatnot, are either Austrian or they're German production. And similarly with Bulgaria, I don't see a good reason for Bulgaria to enter the war either. But it's
you gotta understand though, the Second Balkan War, just after the first, Bulgaria thought they were wronged. They expected to gain more land, and in turn they declared war on Serbia and Greece, which prompted Romania to declare war on Bulgaria, and then the Ottomans, seeing how well the war was going to go, declared war on Bulgaria then. And they got huge concessions on their land, and they
right.
lost so much more. So they were kind of pissed off, and after seeing the potential of gaining all the land back or more, they hopped at the chance for war.
Yeah, I get that. But I just see it as criminally stupid. That you can't produce your own weapons and you're going to a major war. You're deciding to go to a major war. Not that you're attacked. That's different. Being attacked is different.
Oh, by the way, you could probably take that Italian island near the Ottomans.
Talking Lemnos here?
I think. Or I think I was talking Corfu.
Oh, Corfu. Okay, Corfu. Yeah. We just need to get a unit that we can march down there and take it.
I'm talking about Rhodes.
Oh, Rhodes. Yeah. I think that's Italian right now. Yeah, we can maybe push into there. That's a good idea.
Wouldn't hurt.
Okay. Can we walk across the water for that? Okay, let's see what we can do here. Oh, I'm using this HQ as a garrison. Okay, let's push down here. Yeah, I didn't even know this. Thanks for spotting that. Okay, we'll make sure we hold that port. Okay, so we have what looks to be a Serbian unit here. No, that's Italian. Sorry, no, that's Italian. Why was I thinking Serbian? I don't know. Okay, so that's just a detachment. We've got a corps facing them.
It also looks like you could take the Aegean Islands as well, judging from
yeah, Lemnos, that's what I initially thought you were talking about first. Some of these I don't think count as islands. This does, but just to the point why. I mean, we want to take hexes.
I guess it doesn't matter when you take Athens and Greece surrender.
Well, that was my point. My big point, because I wasn't thinking of Rhodes. Quite honestly, I just wasn't thinking of it. That we could possibly march across the sea here. I was thinking we had to invade.
I'm interested though. How much MP do you get from captured city?
It varies a lot. You can look.
I mean, I know you get some for capturing initially. I'm talking about like how much does it change economy wise?
Okay, well you can see like Athens down here in the bottom. Value 2 MPP per strength point. Here, I guess that's its value. So we can look over here at at Sumarna. At Sumarna here, we get 8 MPP from this fairly large city here. So I don't know what Rhodes will value 1.25. So I don't know how much if we get. Won't be a lot. It's not like going to massively change our outcome here. but it would be useful, and if we could take that from the Italians, that would be nice. But mainly I'm focusing, hopefully, on getting Athens here. Okay, I think... Okay, now, let's go back and look at research. Okay, Okay, well, we're doing infantry weapons for Germany. We're doing armored warfare for Germany, trench warfare.
I don't know how much armored warfare is going to help when you don't have tanks developed.
Yeah, that's the other thing to do here, and I think we will push on that as well. So we'll do tank development, get that in production for Germany, Austria. We're doing infantry weapons, trench warfare, trying to hold out there. Back on Germany. Production technology. Let's do some production technology here. So I think, well, before we do that, I want to check some of these, any units here that are fairly weak that I want to make sure that I reinforce. No, we're all, you know, fairly well off for Austria. Okay, so we've got the points here. Germany's probably giving them too much, so we maybe cut that back. But since we have it, let's do some production technology. Get our factories going better. It's for 75. And we could do infantry warfare as well. Yes. Now the Ottomans. Aerial warfare, trench warfare, logistics. That's the help on the Turkish-Russian front. I think we should just maybe go with infantry weapons. Do that. Because we do need to keep going up to date. Let's diplomacy. I think let's invest. No. I think we already got some going there. Yeah, let's see about Norway here. Do we want to do it for the Germans? No, the Germans are already doing that. Well, maybe we'll just sort of leave that. Oh, the Austrians. We will push there.
It looks like Sweden is 27% leading, so
Sweden, yeah, Sweden is coming close, but I don't think Sweden's going to join the war. It's mostly just we're trying to keep them good trading partners, and because they do supply us with some resources, and we don't want Norway to go more into the Italian or the Allies camp.
looks like Romania is like pretty close.
Yeah, 4%. we are influencing Romania as well, so that is okay. Yeah, well, maxed out there. Don't know if we want to do Not really. I'm just a little undecided. Well, let's on Germany before we do any more. Let's make sure we have what we wanted, like here, reinforced to maximum. Any of these units up here, we didn't really say that weakens them. Good. These guys, oh, they've moved as far as they can. Max is 6. Yeah, cancel that. Let's retreat back up to here. You move to here, you move to here, you move up to here. Okay, that's reasonably good.
Seeing how well you pushed on the north, you can try to swing south for an encircle.
Well, we have the Pripyat marshes here, and so yeah, I want to get over to Gromel here. And I don't know how easily we'll be able to push south along that. I mean, I would be happy to, but I'm thinking I don't know what's going to happen with the Russians, quite honestly. If they're going to, what would it cost to?
I'm kind of surprised they haven't had the revolution yet.
Well, they're already having some convulsions. We'll see probably some more stuff coming on. I guess just trying to think, where would I move them to? They've already got artillery there. They might use some artillery up there. So, okay, can we? Yeah, let's do this. Oh, not maybe as far as I was hoping. Well, I guess to here. Not quite maybe worth the cost, but oh well. Getting our artillery up to the front. Keep you nice and near the front. Okay. Now that we've done that, let's look at Germany. Heavy bombers, a destroyer. No. What we're going to do with Germany now, I think, is because we're having a bit of that problem with the submarines, let's see about reinforcing some of these guys a bit more. We'll spend it on the naval, something that... Do you know if Germany did much naval development, you know, building production during the war that wasn't submarines?
Well, I don't think there was too much, mainly because obviously, while Germany did build up a lot of pre-dreadnoughts and such before the war to try to challenge the naval supremacy, Britain still had more, and it would pretty much be a waste of tonnage and resources to build a big ship and go to battle and have it sink.
Yeah.
So I think submarines are honestly the best choice for Germany.
Oh yeah, no, it's a good choice for Germany. That I'm not at all sort of disputing. More just wondering if they did any serious naval production during the war.
I'm sure there was cruisers and destroyers and all those other things. I don't think there was that many battleships.
Right.
Dreadnoughts.
Okay, well. Weapons, advanced subs. Oh, well, you know, let's spend some of the money in rebuilding some of the Turkish Navy's damaged ships. So let's Yeah, it's a pre-dreadnought. Here's a dreadnought. Let's...
Are your submarines able to lay mines?
No, our destroyers are. And we can lay up to... For Germany, I think Austria is 1 or 2. Germany is 3 mines. We have an Austrian mine here. You can get hit by your own mines, so you have to watch where you lay them.
I was wondering if you couldn't mine the trade route.
Yeah, we really can't get that far out there and back and survive. So yeah, submarines can't do it enough. It's a bigger sort of minefield than just putting a few floating mines that you hope some ships run into. This will be a bit cheaper. Another battleship built up. Okay. Yeah, I get it to 6. Okay, so we got our naval a little better shape. Alright, okay. Oh, can you? Oh, yeah, you can attack there. So you're going to do that. That was worthy. Okay. Alright, well, let's save this just in case I make a mistake here. Okay, I think we're ready to end it for this turn. Let's see how the Entente does. Okay, Albania surrenders. I knew they would be doing so because we took all their cities.
Oh, did I mention that? That was a friendly invasion of Albania. Did I mention?
No, but we got to read this. We'll talk on other things later. Chief of the General Staff, the revolution in Russia is setting up provisional governments where there opens up a new opportunity to weaken our opponent in the East. There is a Russian revolutionary in Switzerland called Lenin who could provide, or could prove useful if we were to arrange for him to be sent to Russia, where he will be able to agitate in favor of the Bolshevik Party. Would you like to authorize payment of 25 MPPs to send Lenin to Russia in the hopes that he will be able to provoke further disorders? Yes, no, view map. What's your thoughts on this, Ary?
Well, obviously, I'm not a fan of the Soviet Union and all that other stuff. But historically, this was a great move, and it obviously brought Russia out of the war and forced them to.
Right. Now, see, we're going to take a long view that we're the German and Austrian aristocracy and are not going to promote things that are going to bring down aristocracy. So we are not going to promote the Bolsheviks. So we're going to say no.
You gotta also understand that the leader of Britain, Germany, and Russia, they were all cousins during that
Oh,
time.
absolutely. That's the Nicky and Willie telegrams. Oh, most assuredly.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chancellor. Now we're in Austria-Hungary. Konrad von Hotzendorf. With Albania in friendly hands, we could increase our strength in the area by forming a detachment from Albanian volunteers to be called the Albanian Legion. Forming this unit will cost 50 MPP and it will deploy in Triana. Would you like to authorize? Yes, we will do that. 50 we can afford. Okay, so that gets us Austro-Hungary forms the Albanian Legion. There we go, a 5-strength detachment. Nice. Bolsheviks forces grow in strength in Finland. Yeah, Finland has revolted if we didn't mention that. Greek forces... Great. Let me read through this. Greek forces mobilized to defend Athens. Okay, so we're probably going to get some pop-up units. Yeah, mobilized to defend Sparta. Okay, rough seas hit the ship, and does damage or just make it not able to attack or something? I don't know. I don't think it did damage. Ottoman Empire develops logistics level 1. That should help with our supply problems everywhere for them. Okay, so yes, we're doing good. Germany, Austria, very good. Albanian Legion, very good. UK introduces conscription. The second Anzac Corps sets sail. Now they come to pound our submarines. Submarine dives finally, good, and they have, well, they got pounded before they dived. Okay, so now they're hiding out there and maybe not be found, but fortunately they're on the far side of this line. And Italians sail away from Albania. They swap out armies for a better one there, corps I should say. Pounding on the Turkish Marines. Sure get a lot of shells from that gun.
Imagine the Turks still use the big bomb, but
That's getting painful for our entrenched Germans, especially if they're able to bring a lot of forces up. Yeah, okay, 1 for 1, not the best trade. 2 for no loss. 1 loss for 1 loss. Oh, we should move those other counter batteries up. Oh, the regular ones that move the artillery, the big artillery back. Should have done that before the railway guns. That was a good result. That was a good result. That was a very good result. Okay, well, fine. Well, they're holding on for the moment until the Italians attack, and they're still holding on, and they're doing a good job. I tried to go after our mountain corps. They're going after the German mountain corps, getting pounded. And similarly getting pounded. Good job, Turks. Okay, that was alright. And they moved back on, I think this is the Isonzo River, Isonzo, however you pronounce it. So they keep attacking up like we talked. I think there were 13 of the battles. Maybe it was a little more this way, I don't know. Okay, fighting between royalists and ventriloquists in Greek forces. Okay, didn't know that was breaking out. So that's weakening them some. Central power raiders disrupt Egyptian convoys. Yeah, blockade Germany. Blockade Germany. No conscription fellowship proclaims its opposition to conscription. German socialists oppose the war from the Spartacus League. Okay, well that's so far doing well for us. Okay, so UK loses 10 MPP. Very good. And we have a railway gun and a reserve corps for Germany. Well, let's see. Railway gun. Where would we use that? In the east, or in the west, or in the south?
Might not be too bad to hammer the Italian.
Right.
Oh, IKB's here.
Hey IKB. We're just sort of doing an unscheduled stream so that Ary can watch while we do a joint episode here. Yeah, I don't disagree with your idea for going after the Italians. So let's put him there. Okay, German Reserve Corps.
Yeah, and if you ever need it on the West Front, you could always send it there in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, no wait, yeah, you can get the whole range of the railway in one movement. So that is.
Anyways, I was gonna say another thing that not many people know. While the Russian Civil War was going on, the Finnish Civil War was also happening between the Reds and the Whites.
Right, that's something I don't know much about, but that is supposedly raging on up here, at least in theory, if not units on the map.
Also, it might be smart to develop some artillery for the Ottomans, or at least send like one Austrian to hammer the city. See if you can't try to do a breakthrough.
I don't know that that is a practical thing at this time. I'm mostly looking at trying to just hold here for now. Okay, let's save this. Now I have that deployed. No, quit. That's just because I might hit the wrong thing. Okay. All right. Okay, now. Well, the weather's better in the Baltic, so that may be some offensive operations there, but the weather's terrible down here in the Adriatic. What would it... Okay, we can't attack across the strait, so it appears. Even though there is a front line sort of there. I wonder about doing a naval invasion. But our real focus here is, of course... Greece. Okay, come down here and... Yeah. Push down into Corfu. Oh, they have some pretty big cores, so... Okay, oh, that was a mistake. Should have moved this one down a little bit closer and had him dug in. I can't retreat. Used all. Okay, that was a bit of a mistake. They're going to pound me bad next turn. Well, at least he can dig in, just in case. Okay, Bulgarians. Go after Greece. Ouch, now that wasn't a good... outcome. Costly but useful. Oh, they're still there, are they? Well... can't you? No, you can't attack across to there. Okay. Good to know. So we're gonna... shouldn't... well...
Oh, by the way, gamer, I think you could do an encirclement in North Africa if you move your partisans up. I don't know how effective it would be.
Okay, these partisans, if I move them too far, they're going to get hammered by these other guys over here. So I think holding this city is the best.
You could take how do you pronounce that? Starts. I'm gonna butcher the name.
Derna up here?
Derno?
Yeah, but they have Tobruk as a supply port.
Ah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so no, that is... I mean, not that taking Derna isn't a good idea, except I sort of know there's an Italian unit over here at Missus, and that would show back up very quickly. So these are sort of lost causes, really, I think. But we're going to keep them going as long as possible, just to F with the enemy a bit. Okay.
I mean, Paul's entire front was a lost cause, but he was still able to drag down hundreds of thousands of allied troops, so
Okay, we got Salonika, there we
it's
go.
kind of a shame they don't have more of Africa.
Okay, you can get to there. And... can you swap out? Yes. And attack? Yes. Okay, the Salonika front is done for. Very nice. Let's bomb these guys. Didn't quite do as much damage as I was hoping. I don't think I want to venture out of this Sea of Marnia here with that, but let's bring the subs here. They're back to in operation. You come back to hunting mode instead of hiding mode. There we go. You just move to here so that you can get... hopefully somebody else. Okay, we have the German subs that were shipped, built, whatever. Okay. See if they can sneak out. Uh-oh, boom, mines. Ouch, okay. Enemy contact, ouch. Okay, well... they can't effing move. Damn. That is painful. Now on the Western Front, let's see. First thing we're going to do is, which we should have done last time, well, maybe we fire first now. Okay, let's swap these two out. Now we have some guys up front to do some counter battery fire, hopefully more effectively. The idea is to fully take out one of these core. There we go. And not to advance, just take that out. Okay, we want to... Well, that'll be dangerous, but well, hopefully that'll be alright.
Are those all elite units?
Mm.
That France has on board?
Well, these are fully upgraded, yes. You can sort of tell... Well, you can look... Like here, this guy has like 1914 equipment with the red cap and whatnot. He has, I don't know, 1915, 1916 or whatever sort of equipment with the Adrian helmet. Again, we can see down here that this core is still an old core, and these units are upgrading over time. So yeah, it shows in the counters as to what's the sort of upgrade level is going on here with the various cores. Now down here, thinking of trying to kill this unit here. I don't know if that is a good idea or not. That is definitely a good idea down there. Well, let's start with a railway bombardment. Attack with the Germans. There we go. Swap out for the Austrian mountain troops.
They can bombard them twice.
Yeah, not really with these guys. It depends on the... And we're going to just reinforce you because you're probably going to be attacked again. Don't want to lose for stupid reasons. Yeah. Boom. Okay, so that is one core down, one core heavily damaged, and French core destroyed up there. Now, well, let's see what we can do here. Okay, Austrians, you attack. Boom. They attack. Okay, so now we got Kovel. I shouldn't have had that one attack. That was a bit of a mistake. Okay, well... That's not looking like a good choice. I think that may be our best choice here. So let's... Oh, they've got interceptors. Okay, we have them now recon bombed, as it were. No real damage, but just know where all their entrenchments, their bunkers are. Let's move that there, and then let's see if we can switch and still have enough action points. No, no more action points, but at least a fresh unit on the front.
One sort of interesting thing Germany did to raise money for the war at the beginning was they made a wooden statue of Nuremberg, and pretty much you would pay 100 or 5 or 1 mark for either gold, silver, or iron nail to be hammered in.
Okay.
So they would make these nail statues. I don't think the irony was lost on Hindenburg after the war, though, that he became president of the new Weimar Republic. He was still a monarchist doing...
Right. I think taking that railway. Okay.
One reason why Germany was treated so harshly in the Treaties of Versailles was because of how badly they did the Russians, actually. Because obviously they pretty much destroyed the Russians. They liberated everything, and they weren't even a nation anymore, really. They were in the midst of civil war. That Germany did this to try to scare the Allies into surrendering, because look what we did, and this is what we'll do to you if we win. But it ended up just backfiring.
Right, we have Russian mud to dealing with right now. Okay, this is not optimum, but alright. We're advancing on the enemy. Okay, that looks like the best initial attack. Very good. Oh, very good, very good. We got Schmitten.
Do you think it would be worth it to spend more on research to get a deficit as Germany, seeing that you have so much resources and stuff?
I'm not quite sure exactly what you're asking there.
You got 600 or so MP, right? And research costs like what?
Well, I have actually
25?
666 MP, but yes.
Ooh, devil numbers.
Yeah.
But my point is, would it be worth it to spend a lot on research for 1 or 2 turns, or?
Well, research doesn't isn't a defined time that it takes. It's just starting the research program, and then it eventually gets done at some point. You spend it once, and eventually gets done. So,
I guess, but the more you spend, can't hurt.
well, you can only no. Well, I don't think I can spend more on this. Well, I guess you can add to it, but it's only going to add. It's going to come later. It's going to come after this development is currently done. So you can either. I don't think it helps to rush it. Meaning, so if you were to.
I wasn't really necessarily talking about tanks. I was sort of talking about artillery.
Well, I was just clicking on tanks because I was there, but meaning, yeah, we could do more other things, but I don't know that it's going to help us do more. Well, I don't know. See, I don't know how spending more today. I don't know is going to help us a lot. Let's see if we move you up here, and no, that won't be a good option. Okay, let's reinforce you up there, and that way you're reinforced. Okay, well. That was just a bad losing proposition. So we're going to attack up there, which will weaken us in cars, but then we're going to swap out here and have a good unit there ready to defend. And they can decide whether they want to attack. Oh, okay. We also need to come down here. Let's see. We're going to come down here. See if we can crush Lawrence's rebellion down here. Did we forget to do that last turn? Probably. Moving some cavalry divisions across there. I'm just worried about an Arab revolt up in Iraq. Okay, so what we're going to do here is swap you out, and then we're going to swap you out here. That limits no more points there, but here we can reinforce you. to the max. Okay, so we have a 10 and an 8 on the front. Yeah, let's do that. Sort of what you're talking about, but it isn't really cutting them off. We're just moving around to see if they'll leave their position in Tobruk. Okay, well, we're doing good here. Now let's carefully send our submarines looking to see if we see that dreadnought somewhere. Okay, well, I don't see anything. Okay, well, that was a nice reconnaissance. Functionally good. Okay, you're hiding from the enemies, which is very nice. Let's go near the Faroe Islands. Okay, well, let's come over to here. We're gonna have another situation trying to get through blockade. I think you're just gonna sit there. I think you're just gonna sit there for the moment. Okay, well, I think we're going to bring this. I know there's more to do here. That's sort of why I want to bring this. Well, something of a conclusion here. Okay, we're going to bring this episode to a conclusion. Ah, hello. Oh, it's just IKB with her. I've been messing around with Black Ice. Is Italy. Cool. I hadn't looked up in a while. Okay, we're going to bring this episode to an end. I want to thank you for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. Thank you, Ary, for helping add some color commentary. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And, of course, hit that like button. Love to hear your thoughts. See you next time for more Strategic Command World. Well, more historical gaming, so it may not be Strategic Command.